Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Karma, the musical vlogger. Today I have my gong and let's do what I've been doing the past couple weeks, and let's just start with a few deep breaths, shall we? When I hit the gong, that'll be your cue to release, okay? So let's take a deep breath in. Again. One more time. Had to get a good one there at the end. Okay, super honesty time. 0% of me wants to be doing this right now. All weekend I've been not wanting to do this. Even though I'm being seen by people on a relatively small scale, it still affects me. It still makes me feel at times like I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to be seen by people, by anybody. And I feel like every time I make a video, it's like I've said before, whatever I talk about, I feel like I learn it even more the following week. And last week I talked about letting go of judgment. And I felt energetically as though I got a rain of judgment last week that wasn't even from myself. I felt it from others. I feel like any time that you shine light, give love, give non-judgment, give peace to someone, something that is full of darkness, or is full of the opposite things, that shining that light on that, it causes like an uproar, causes like an energetic flurry. And I think that all that energy gets sent towards the light bearer's direction. And I think in times where that's happening, it's good to sit back and think, that energy is energy. So whether it's negative being sent my way or positive, you're still feeding me. However, I think that also you can find yourself just feeling energetic, the negative being thrown at you. And it doesn't mean that it feels good. So even if it is feeding you, I think that it can feed you and also not feel good. And this past Friday was so intense, but since I've promised to be vulnerable with you guys, I will tell you that Friday was excruciating. The situation that I'm in that I can't talk about right now, to those of you who are watching and following me diligently, what I'm in right now, if only you knew, if you knew what I am facing right now, what I am up against, you would be in awe of what I've been able to accomplish. That I'm talking, that I'm doing this, that I'm that I've accomplished all that I have in this amount of time. And someday I will be able to share on a deeper level about what I've been experiencing during this time. But on Friday, there was something that I was doing, and I just was overcome with heartache. So much so that I was like, I need to feed myself, and went to the kitchen to feed myself, and I ended up on my kitchen floor, dry heaving from the amount of crying. And all I could think was, wow, I'm glad that my apartment walls are thick and that nobody can hear me right now, because I was crying from the depths of my soul, moaning from the depths of my soul, heartache bellowing from the depths of my soul. I know how it feels to go through something unimaginable, unjust, horrifying, terrifying. And I do it alone. And I've had times where I couldn't take the aloneness anymore. And so I settled, did things I knew I shouldn't have done, just to not be alone, just to not be sitting with the alone feelings. And I feel like I have finally come to a place of like not doing that anymore at all on any level, because every time that I do it, I just hurt myself even greater than the time before. It's like this feeling of like being so deprived of water and being able to see a water park on the other side of a glass wall. That's like the feeling that it gives me whenever I try to satisfy this feeling of being alone, because it's like who I want and what I want, I cannot have right now. And so that's why, not too long ago, I made a post about feeling like it was time to just hurry up and wait. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to just sit back and wait. Just sit with the painful feelings, to not try and fix it, to just let it happen, let it be. Let yourself feel the feeling of being alone. Because I feel like when we try to stick a Band-Aid on a gaping wound, in the end it just makes it worse, because it didn't solve the problem, and now you have to get this Band-Aid out of the way, and it hurts that gaping wound. And I have just learned to succumb to horribly painful experiences over the last year and a half, to accept the feelings of longing, pain, dread, and still hold on to hope. It's incredible. It's incredible that I have and do feel all that I've felt and do feel, and that I can still be hopeful for a miracle, that I can still hold love in my heart, that I can still focus on not judging myself and not judging other people, not judging the people who have put me in this situation. Because ultimately, as much as we want to blame other people for where we're at, and I'm not excusing the parts that other people play, at the end of, you know, so many things, not every time, but in my situation, you know, there were things that contributed, that I did, people that I chose, things that I said that contributed to me being here. It wasn't all them. There was parts that were me. And I have to take responsibility for that. And sometimes that's really hard to do. That's a really hard pill to swallow, is the part of it that's you, that's your fault. Especially when it's something as painful as what I'm going through. To know that any of it could be my fault is devastating. Makes me feel like a failure as a mother. And anyway, yeah, so here I am. I'm making a video because I committed to doing this. I committed to every Sunday sharing with you guys just a little bit about what I've been experiencing and the ways in which I'm trying to grow. You know, my focus isn't so much on healing anymore. It's more on growth. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is being disciplined? Even more disciplined, growing in discipline, growing in strength, growing in vulnerability. This is what that looks like. This is what growth and vulnerability looks like. Doing the video even though I don't want to, being vulnerable with my audience even though I don't want to. I don't want to tell you guys that I was, you know, having that hard of a time. And it's not for no reason. It's not, I'm crying all the time and I don't know why, and maybe there's something, you know, an imbalance. It's like I'm going through something, you guys. Like, you don't know right now. Some of you watching know, but some of you who are watching don't know. Someday I'll get to share what I was experiencing during this time. And I promise you, you will be astonished. I'm facing an impossible situation in my world right now, on a very unfair and unjust situation in my world. And I have to just keep moving forward the best way that I can. Keep believing, keep growing, keep trying, keep showing up, just doing my absolute best and trying my absolute damnedest not to judge myself for the choices that I've made or the ways in which I've messed up along this journey, and not judging other people as well. So anyway, this is it for me. I don't have anything else really to say, and I just want to encourage you guys, encourage my audience to keep going, even when it's hard, even when you have a day where you can barely walk, barely breathe, barely do anything. Just keep surviving. Keep going. Keep going with the hope and the belief that you can get to thriving. That is my focus this year, is I want to focus on surviving until I can get to thriving. I want to thrive, not just survive. It's a great Switchfoot song, by the way. If you don't know it, look it up. Been fighting things that I can't see, and like voices coming from the inside of me, and doing things I find hard to believe in. Am I myself or am I dreaming? Been awake for an hour or so, checking for a pulse, but I just don't know. Am I a man when I feel like a ghost? A stranger in the mirror is wearing my clothes. No, I'm not alright. I know that I'm not right, yeah. Steering wheel don't mean you can drive. A warm body don't mean I'm alive. No, I'm not alright. I know that I'm not right, yeah. A steering wheel don't mean you can drive. I wanna thrive, not just survive. I wanna thrive, not just survive. Yeah, surprised I remembered that many of the lyrics. I'm glad I did, because I just decided to start singing anyway. I love you guys, but if no one's told you today, you are loved. You are meant to be here. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And keep going. Until next week. See you guys then. Oh, all my love, all my grace, all my vulnerability.